Hello, my friends. I am John Laspina, the Carnivore teacher, and I eat the proper human diet. I bought this shirt off of Dr. Ken Berry's website because I believe in eating animal products and not having processed food and not eating fruits and vegetables, which you can have some fruits and vegetables if you want. I am a carnivore because my body runs so efficiently on carnivore. In this video, I want to talk about body signals. When you start eating cleanly, you start to hear and feel and sense signals that your body is sending your brain that you didn't realize you had before. You're sensitive to all these signals, and let me talk about some of them. One of them is when you are hungry, not cravings, but actual hunger. There is a hormone in our body called ghrelin. Ghrelin sends a signal to the brain telling you you're hungry. I can feel my ghrelin signals. I know when I am hungry, and I can distinguish that signal from a craving. You know, I told you I'm a sugar addict and I have an addiction to sugar and I stay away from it 100% of the time. But I know what a craving is. It's very different than true hunger signal. When you eat this way, you hear, feel, and sense the signals very easily. It's kind of cool. Another signal is when you're full. When you can't eat anymore, you have stretch receptors in your stomach and you also have fat cells, and they secrete another hormone called leptin with a P, not to be confused with lectins, which is the anti-nutrient in a lot of plants. Leptin is a signal that gets sent to the brain telling you you can't eat anymore. Now, this signal does not happen right away. That's why it is suggested that when you're eating your carnivore or ketovore meal, don't eat like a Rottweiler devours his breakfast. That's what Dr. Siva says. Eat like a Rottweiler. Eat slowly, mindfully. Enjoy your food. Have a conversation with the people around the table. And maybe even take a break and walk away from the table and go do something and come back. And maybe you're still hungry. But maybe that little bit of a break, the signal had time to send to the brain because it is a delayed signal. The leptins tell you you're full. It doesn't look so good anymore. If you take some, it doesn't taste as good as it did when you first started eating that meal. That's the leptins. Another feeling leptins can give you is a little feeling of nausea. Not where you feel really bad and you want to throw up, but just a little tiny sensation of, I don't want any more. Just enough. That's leptin. When you eat the proper human diet, the signals come to life and you can recognize them. And your body, animals live by their body signals because they're in nature. They're not as evolved as we are. They don't have internet. They don't have supermarkets. They trust their instincts. They listen to their body signals. We're animals. Let's go back to nature, eat the proper human diet, and let's relearn to trust our body signals. Another body signal. If you are just starting out on this way of eating, you often lose your magnesium, potassium, and sodium because, when you lose weight at the beginning, a lot of water weight is what you're losing. And with every molecule of water is a molecule of salt. And with the water goes the salt, the magnesium, potassium, and so you're deficient and you're going to get a body signal that if you recognize it, you can say, oh, I need to add some more salt to my food. And that to me was an achy shoulder. Okay, I would feel like I had an achy shoulder. Or you could get a Charlie horse when you're in bed at night. You're like, oh, my leg. And that is a sign that you need either potassium or magnesium or sodium. If you get a little headache for no reason at all and you never got headaches, you may need some salt. So your body can tell you. Once you stabilize and you have I've been eating this way for 5 years and specifically carnivore for 1 year. Once you get into the rhythm of your life and eating properly and finding your tweaky path of what works for you individually, you start to see your body signals and you know that you need to salt your food. Some people, like Dr. Anthony Chaffee, he says he doesn't salt his food that much at all anymore. Even when he dry brines it in the refrigerator. His body may not need that much salt anymore. Maybe yours does. So you listen to your body's signals telling you you need salt. And how do you know if you need salt? Well, take a little piece of your food, not the whole thing, your meat, cut a piece and put some salt on it and taste that piece. If it tastes really good with the salt, and you take another piece and you taste it, it doesn't taste so good, your body wants more salt. But if you salt that little piece of steak and you eat it and you're like, oh, it's too salty, that's your body sending you a signal that you don't need any more salt. That taste, that feeling of too salty or not enough salt is a body signal. It really is. And you cannot, no matter what anybody told you, I guess you can, but you can't overeat your salt. I mean, don't pour gallons of salt down your throat, but if you have too much salt, you pee it out. Kidneys know how to balance everything properly. All right? Don't overdo it like ridiculous, but you can't. Some people are afraid to salt their food. Oh, salt is bad. Salt is bad. Your body moves the salt around where it needs it. It has extra, it flushes it out. Okay? It doesn't collect in your body like oxalates do. And it's not harmful like an oxalate is. Salt is essential for human life. Salt was used as a currency in ancient times. People paid each other in salt crystals. That's how valuable salt is. So I buy Redmond real salt because I love it. I'm not selling their product or anything, but invest in a good salt. If yours is pink Himalayan salt, fine. If you buy another kind of salt, just don't get Morton's salt. That's crap. It's awful. I like my salt from an ancient seabed that doesn't have any microplastics in it. It has lots of other micro mineral particles in there. It's not white. It has all these little colors. And I get mine from a company called Redmond, Redmond. And check out their site. I'm not even going to give you I don't have a discount code because I'm not one of those people. I'm not making any money. All right? I'm just telling you what I do. Find out what you want to do and what works for you. So let me think. Another body signal. You know that you want salt, magnesium, potassium when you're hungry, when you're full. Other signals could be you feel things in your stomach, you feel things in your bowels, you listen to the signals. There's all these little signals that become more acute and more apparent when you are eating the proper human diet, when you're eating properly. So when I eat my beef, all kinds of beef, eye of round is my new favorite next to ribeye. I love that meat and I cook it rare to medium rare, kind of in between there. And I salt to taste. I put ghee on top of it. I cut it. I look at it. It's just so enjoyable to eat my meat. And I eat until he says I'm comfortably stuffed. Anthony Chaffee says eat until it doesn't taste good anymore. That's the leptins telling you you're done. Listen to your body's signals. Trust them like you trust your gut instinct, and you can get through life really with a more heightened sense of yourself and what's good for you and what's not good for you. Beef, lamb, love lamb, pork, poultry, fish, and eggs. I eat less pork and less poultry than I used to because I learned that the ruminant animals, a ruminant animal has a 4-chamber stomach. By the time the food gets digested through the 4 chambers, the nutrition that gets absorbed into the animal meat is filtered out all the toxins. So if they're not grass-fed, it's still okay. Versus if you're eating, say, if you're getting eggs that are not pastured eggs, where the hens are eating the bugs and the worms on the ground, they're eating this horrible genetically modified grain feed, the eggs don't have good nutrients and they actually have less omega-3s and they have higher omega-6s. You want to have a balance of omega-3 and omega-6 as much as possible, and that's why we eat poultry and pork, pastured or grass-fed. For ruminant animals, personally, I'm not going to spend the money for grass-fed, grass-finished. I've tried it. I actually like the flavor of a grain-finished beef cattle meat. I do. And I know that I'm safe because it's a ruminant. The food ruminates in all the lumen, all the different chambers. Same thing with fish. I always buy wild caught fish. I will not buy farm raised fish because they're in these long cement hatcheries and they go from hatchery to hatchery. They move them from different sections until they get really big and they feed them crap. And they're all like right next to each other eating grain, actually. They put chicken wire on top of these hatcheries and the chickens walk on the top and they poop And the fish are eating the chicken poop. Did you know that? So I don't eat farm-raised fish, farm-raised shrimp. I always buy wild-caught shrimp, and I don't care how much it costs. I'll get a loan in the bank. If I'm going to have fish, I will pay more money for wild-caught shrimp, wild-caught sockeye salmon or coho salmon. And if I eat it, I do buy fish in cans that are in water. I buy salmon and mackerel and anchovies and herring and sardines in water, and I will eat some of that too. And I love cod liver packed in cod liver oil because the omega-3s are really high. And that's all wild caught. And sometimes you buy stuff off the internet and have it delivered and it's cheaper or it's available. Sometimes you can find things in stores. I love mussels, clams. I'll even eat snails. I love escargot. Almost never have them. I get them in a restaurant if they have them. There's a variety of amazing, delicious animal products, seafood, eggs out there, and you cook them in this delicious butter. Nothing is better than the proper human diet. So much better than macaroni and cheese and Pop-Tarts and tater tots and McWendy Kings. So much better. And you look and feel better. Have a great day.